All right, ladies, gentlemen, gamers.
That stream.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan, and and Overwatch enjoyers. Welcome back. So today we've learned of something. A new patch has dropped for a relatively dead game known as Overwatch 2,
Definitely
and
dead.
and I am here.
Not as dead as your channel though.
I am here with the illustrious, legendary figure in the gaming community in the Overwatch sphere, Jeff Kaplan.
Hey guys, I know it's been a while. I know there was no reason for you ever to click on this guy's video or channel, whatever. But I'm the reason, so you better click on it.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. So I
You're
would also
boring.
like to thank you. So I would also like to just put this out here in general. That was a little hint right there, actually. I do have COVID, so we will have to say
Yo,
6 feet
why the
apart.
fuck did you not mention this before?
I didn't think it was important, Mr. Kaplan,
Next time
because
you mention this,
I apologize, but
it's dead fucking straight.
I thought since we were doing this like over the internet, it
Shut the
wouldn't.
fuck up and continue.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, so it seems today, ladies and gentlemen, that the era of Overwatch hog hook is over. It seems like finally the Overwatch team heard something other than nerf Sojourn, which they're obviously not going to do, and they decided to finally nerf Hog, arguably one of the best tanks in the game. Mr. Kaplan, I know you no longer work on the Overwatch team, but what do you think of the current state of Overwatch? Are you familiar with it? What do you think of it?
So, you know, um, let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I left, things have been going to shit.
Oh man,
Right?
yeah. I've heard that
Uh,
echoed. Yes.
you know, Clearly they thought five was better than six.
Uh
But if
huh.
you think about it, six is bigger than five. So wouldn't it just naturally mean that 6v6 is better?
I mean, I'm gonna be really honest with you, Mr. Kaplan. I always thought that, but I was really scared to say anything.
I mean, listen, you're not. I was gonna say my child, but you're not my child. Listen, person. Um,
Yes.
sometimes sometimes you could speak your mind. Not all the time, because look at your channel, look at everything you've accomplished in life, nothing. But sometimes you should be able to speak your mind. This is one of the times.
Well, I thought it was just such an obvious thing that, like, six was bigger than five, that them doing it seemed so counterintuitive. But I was like, it seems so obvious that like five is less than six, so it must be worse. So like, well, like
Yeah.
it must be bad. But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't hear anyone else saying anything.
Listen. If I don't want to go on a tangent, because then Blizzard's gonna go after you, and you're already pathetic. Like, uh, listen,
Wow.
Overwatch 2, after giving it a couple months, it's a D, maybe a C minus.
Okay, I see.
And most of the grade is them actually launching the game.
So at this point, Mr. Kaplan, all the changes that are here are past your time essentially. Like these, you have no hand in. Like these are way past anything you influenced essentially.
Well, see, this is complicated because you're not in the gaming industry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'll break it down like this to you.
Yes.
I am at the top.
Yes.
You bow down to me, and I'll leave it as that.
Okay. All right. Wise words. Wise words. So the first change we are getting is to Orisa, which isn't even Roadhog first, but Orisa is getting nerfed, but no one cares because that's not what this is about.
Well, I disagree, because
Okay.
Oriso, from what I was seeing, was the second go-to tank, and to some people, the first go-to tank.
Well, yes, I actually play Orisa myself, believe it or not.
Yeah, I was watching you play. You're not good, but like,
Uh,
um, I think this change, right?
uh-huh,
Fortify bonus reduced from 125 to 75 Kaplans. So
uh-huh.
like, I think it's no, I think it's a big deal, because you couldn't kill the freaking horse when she comes up to you,
I
and
mean,
like,
true, but I don't think I mean, the bonus health definitely helped, but I think it's more so the fact that like she can block shots. She could block all projectiles in front of her, and you can't even displace her to try and make her take more damage. I think she is one of the tankiest people in the game, just with everything combined. And
Yeah,
this hurts only a small part of it.
yeah, she actually plays the role that she's an actual tank, and like
Like
you know,
Doomfist, like Doomfist.
I mean, Mr. Merlin won't like that, but like I actually think Orisa is probably one of like these changes. I didn't want these changes because I get hard-ons when I see shields,
Uh-huh,
but like
yeah.
but like
We
you know
know
if
that
it,
from Overwatch 1.
listen, when I talk, you don't talk over
Oh,
me.
oh, sorry,
Um,
sorry.
but honestly, the changes are good. The changes are really good.
Mm-hmm.
She feels powerful, and she needed this nerf. So this
Okay.
this is a overall plus. I can't tell if it's a big plus though, because like you said, like I have to play the game, and I'm a busy guy.
Yeah, of course, of course.
You
You're
you
just
can play the game.
Kaplan.
You don't do nothing with your life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I do. I do. Anyway, going now to the Roadhog change. So there's a little anecdote here. I'll read that for you. Developer comments. These changes aim to reduce the frustration of dying in one shot immediately after being hooked and pulled by Roadhog. Chain hook is still a powerful utility to forcibly reposition enemy players, so it will still often lead to eliminations. Its effectiveness will now be more dependent on specific hero matchups and how the hooked target is, is able to is able to respond. Anyway, looking at the actual changes here, it looks like the hook's damage got reduced from 30 to a measly 5. Now, do you know what the first thing this reminds me of is, Mr. Kaplan?
Overwatch 1.
Yeah, it reminds me of Brig. Because I remember
Oh, the
Brig's
shield.
shield bash used to do like 50
The shield.
damage. And then they reduced it to what? Like, was it also 5?
I believe it was also 5.
That's crazy.
I just from that dreaded 5, which is
Uh-huh.
the number of fingers that I've stuck up my so
I think you got cut off there, Mr. Kaplan. I didn't hear the end of that.
listen, you need to fix your connection. Anyways,
My
I
apologies.
honestly think they're kind of nuking him now. At this point, why would you even
Well, Mr. Kaplan, we're not even done yet.
I know. And think about that. If I'm assuming, right, like if we do the math with the one shot, right, it gives you just enough to defeat people with 250 health, if I remember right, or 200. But this brings it down even more now.
Yes.
So I mean, I haven't seen all the other changes, but just from this alone, it seems like the one shot is slowly disappearing.
So the next thing that they're doing specifically to the hook is that when you're pulled, instead of being 3 meters close to Roadhog, you're actually 4 meters close. So you're a little further away.
Once again, they're nerfing, the one shot even more in here. Now you're not even going to be close enough to do more damage. I mean, this might be good for hog hookers,
I see.
But
We all know those hookers.
oh, fun fact: we actually wanted hog to be road hooker.
Oh, I
Because
see.
I was driving, and me and my wife were having issues,
Oh.
and my boyfriend. So like,
Oh my.
and we saw on the road a hooker,
Uh-huh.
and just naturally road hooker came in because I got road head from a hooker.
I see. That makes a lot of sense, honestly. Now with Roadhog and his design, I honestly kind of see it.
Yeah, and you know I that thing that he's drinking to heal himself up, or he's
Yeah.
ingesting, right?
Uh-huh.
Was from when the hooker leaked on me.
Oh my. I hope you were all right, Mr. Kaplan.
I mean, I liked it,
Oh God.
and he did it on my keyboard.
He?
Oh, wait, sorry. Pretend I didn't say that. They did it on my keyboard.
Oh my. Okay, well, that's
I
a little
haven't cleared the keyboard since.
that's a little concerning.
I'm using
But
it right now.
okay then. So his scrap gun, the damage per pellet was reduced from 6.6 to 6. The recovery time was reduced by about 0.05 of a second. The reload time was reduced, so it was actually buffed in this way. And the maximum ammo was increased. So the only thing that seems like it got nerfed was the damage. Everything else actually got buffed with the scrap gun.
I think what they're going for is essentially what the hooker did to me, which is they hooked me in. You know, I think what they're gonna go with is now, instead of the hook kill, it's hook. Hey team, I hooked this guy. Gang up on him on his face.
Now I've noticed that as well. So from the little anecdote they said that the main thing is going to be able to reposition players, right? So I think they're kind of counting on, unless you're super squishy, unless you're like extremely squishy, so you're like a tracer, because I still think you can one shot tracer, right? I don't know the math, and I'm too stupid to really do it. But how much health does Reaper have in the game?
250.
I don't believe he'll be able to one-shot 250 health heroes. I think maybe like 200 and below, maybe. But I'm not sure on the math here.
I mean, yeah, I definitely believe, for once you're right. By the way, can we lock up like people coming in here, because people keep coming in here and moaning, and it's getting really annoying.
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything with that, Mr. Kaplan. I think that's just on your side.
Strike one.
What? I'm confused, Mr. Kaplan.
Strike one.
I don't hear anything.
Strike one.
I don't hear anything like that.
Strike one and shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I lost my train of thought. Good fucking shit, Technics, or Tech bitch.
Okay. So overall, I think we've kind of said our opinions about Hog. I see there's still some more here. There's a Sojourn change, actually.
Oh, great news.
So
great fucking news, man.
I think they might be buffing Sojourn
Shut
here.
the fuck up and show me it.
Okay,
buffing?
okay.
Whoa, you
okay.
said buffing?
I mean, that's just what I would assume what the Overwatch team wants.
Read the comments. Read the comments.
Okay.
If you're in front of me, I would slap you.
The energy...
Not with my hands.
The energy gain adjustment will help smooth out Sojourn's average railgun charge time, because it won't benefit as much from critical damage or damage boost abilities. Hitting armored targets or other sources of damage reduction will result in quicker energy gains than before. So previously, damage boosts and critical damage had an amplified effect for Sojourn, since it reduced the time to build energy and lowered the threshold at which her railgun's secondary fire, which realistically is the most important one, became lethal. The reduction to primary fire damage will further slow that down as well. So, here's essentially what they're saying. The energy gain is no longer based on damage done. Each primary hit grants 5... Well, I'm reading it for the fans out there. For the fans out there.
You have no fans.
Wow.
I want you to acknowledge I can read.
I know you can read, Mr. Kaplan.
Okay, so can you read it out loud for, potential viewers?
Okay, so The energy gained is no longer based on damage done by the primary fire. Now each primary hit grants 5 energy, and the primary fire damage is reduced by 1 from 10 to 9.
Okay. How do I digest this? Like what men put in me. So let's start off from the beginning, right?
Uh-huh.
Energy is no longer based on damage done by primary fire.
Yes.
Each primary fire hit against an enemy player now grants 5 energy. This essentially nerfs the headshots. Headshots gave you 10,
So here's
right?
my question though. How much did a regular shot give you before?
5.
5?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no difference now.
Yeah, no.
I see. So if you were damage boosted, even if you hit the body, you would get more.
I believe so. I do believe so.
So now no
But
matter what, you're getting 5.
yeah, which I mean, we all know what they're trying to do here. They don't want her to lose her identity, but they're just slowing down the inevitable,
I
which
actually
is
believe that this is making Sojourn more casual. Because already the casuals probably didn't hit headshots anyway, right? So
Mhm.
they probably won't even feel any sort of a difference with Sojourn for the pure fact that because they didn't hit headshots, they're not even going to notice this change.
I mean, yeah, they definitely wouldn't.
So
This
this
is
is for the
definitely.
professionals, essentially.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. They're gonna feel this hard because Sojourners carry the game. This is just gonna slow them down a bit more,
It's going to
which
make it
is
harder to do.
yeah, definitely. I mean, she's still gonna be good because she can one shot people, and
But it's
I
going to
mean,
be longer to earn in professional play now. It's going to be
yep,
more like the professional is going to earn it at the same rate as a casual.
yeah, exactly.
Now,
I,
this is something I've noticed, Mr. Kaplan, and I want you to tell me if you noticed it too, that they're really
mhm.
trying to make the game, as I just said, the professionals are going to look like what the casuals are doing. I've noticed that in general, that the game is becoming more casual. Just they're trying to make it more for the casuals where like even with this change, the professionals are going to look like the casuals now. It's going to look like what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see, but I'm pretty sure like casuals are gonna be fucking casuals are not gonna give a fuck.
I
But
see.
they're very. I'll leave it on this because I've ranted enough on. I don't want to say it, but I've ranted enough on this DPS.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um but good nerf is it good enough? I don't think so.
I see. Well, that's
It's
not
good.
something I would necessarily know. However, we do have even more changes.
Oh my fucking gosh! I have to take a shit.
I apologize, Mr. Kaplan, but
So yeah. I don't want you to read that. Let's go straight to the change.
uh okay, the recovery time from the healing Ofuda, which is her papers, has been increased from 0.85 to 1. I
One thing,
think I should read the developer comments here, Mr. Kaplan, because this is a very nuanced change, it seems like.
it seems like a waste of fucking time.
Well, I'd like to at least let the Overwatch team
I
try and.
read it, but read it quick.
Okay. So, despite Kiriko's healing projectiles being slow moving and single target, her average healing output per match is higher than we'd like. So, actually, what I think they mean here is Kiriko is only a heal bot and she doesn't do any DPS. So, we've seen players tend to get overly focused on maximizing her healing potential and only use her primary fire for extended periods of time, rather than reduce the amount of healing per projectile, which may which may lead to feeling locked into focusing on primary fire even more. We're increasing the recovery time before she can start firing the healing Ofuda again. So increasing the recovery time opens the opportunity to weave in secondary fire kunais more freely. So essentially what they're saying is we're going to slow down the amount of time you can start healing again after you do your initial burst of healing.
Uh, I have to see. I mean, I I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that it's not just hold down the trigger, or right click for you guys.
Yes.
Um, and then just healing. I guess they want you to mix it up with left click.
So I think this is just a problem personally with like Kiriko's design. Kiriko's little daggers, her little kunais, they do no damage at all unless you like actually land the headshot. If you don't land the headshot, first of all, first and foremost, you're a healer. You're a healer whose main job is to heal, and the biggest thing with Kiriko is her ult and her cleanse, right? The least important part of her kit is her primary fire. If you're using that number one, you're either using it to get lucky, which means you're not healing, or you're up in the enemy's face, which you're a healer, you're not supposed to do that anyway. I think she's having a sort of identity crisis where the players are obviously using her in the best way she's meant to be as the healer, but Overwatch team doesn't want her to be that way. They want her to be this weird hybrid damage dealing frontlining healer, which if you do that, you're kind of trolling. But they want that. So instead of actually upping the damage of the kunais, they're nerfing the healing, and they're not nerfing it in a way where it's going to incentivize using the kunais. They're just nerfing it to nerf everything else, because it's not like you can use the kunais faster than the healing Ofuda again. The recovery time from the Ofuda is literally 1 second, but that means for everything you do after it. So you have to wait no matter what you do that 1 second now. So
Yeah,
you're not incentivized to use the kunai at all still. It's just making her feel worse.
yeah. I mean, I agree. It's definitely weird. I mean, I like her. She's the best new hero. So her getting nerfed is just sad for me.
I thought you liked Junker Queen, Mr. Kaplan.
All because you said that. Go to my closing fucking thoughts. Because then now you just pissed me off.
Well, I heard you really like Junker Queen. Oh, okay, all right. Let's move on. So, we just seem to have a couple of bug fixes, and I believe that's it. I believe that's it.
Yeah.
So
let me give my quick closing thoughts on everyone real quick, right?
Yes.
And then I gotta go catch a flight.
Okay.
So Orisa.
Yes.
Good change. Doesn't seem that big of a deal.
Okay.
Roadhog.
Yes.
They essentially are changing his identity.
Well, what was his identity before?
If DPS ain't doing shit, you do it yourself. Now, you need your team. They made it more team play. I get it. He's a fucking battery, and I need some fucking charge. Next, garbage, waste of time. Probably the worstly designed hero other than Brig, but at least Brig was somewhat cool. This character tries to be cool, but they're not. The only cool aspect out of it is that it's another person of color female that's Canadian, and that's cool. But everything else about this character, and maybe the lore is really good too, but the playstyle of this character is garbage. Next. And Kiriko, I love her. If she was real, I want her to throw a kunai at your head because you run a dead stream.
Wow. Well, yeah, I pretty much agree on everything. And I thank you so much for your time, Mr. Kaplan.
You thank me, but you don't pay me.
I have no money, Mr. Kaplan. I apologize.
That sounds like a you problem.
Oh well, I know you have to get to that flight, so I hope everyone enjoyed. And that's it. Mr. Kaplan has literally just left me mid-interview. But anyway, I stream every day at Twitch.tv/Tecnics channel. You can find more interacting with Jeff Kaplan over there. Hope everyone enjoyed.